Well, good morning. It is Tuesday, May 21st, day 14 for me on the trail. I've left the 501 shelter, which was all right. It was mice. There were mice in the shelter. One guy who was actually bunked above me had a mouse trap with him and set it up, and sure enough caught a mouse in the middle of the night. So he set it up again and didn't catch a second. So yeah, that was interesting. But otherwise it was fine. So heading north, and the goal is to try and do a little bit over 15 miles to the Eagle's Nest shelter. But if I can't make it that far, then there's a couple of campsites along the way. I'd like to at least make it 12 miles. That would pretty much even out the 2 days to 12 miles each, getting into Port Clinton. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm still dealing with some pain in my left leg. My feet are still feeling okay, which is good. You know, minor issues, but it's been worse. Yeah, I don't know if there's any particular interesting views today. And I think I mentioned yesterday, we're really getting into the rockier portion of Pennsylvania. Right now, it's relatively smooth, which is why I'm doing the opening video. But it's going to be, lots of rocks on the ground, maybe a little bit of, traversing over boulders, and we'll just have to see what we get. All right, so that's what's in store for today. And here's what the trail looks like right now. All right, we got a bit of a view here. If I'm not mistaken, out to the right is Bethel, Pennsylvania. Seen a few deer over the past couple of weeks, but this is the first one that hasn't gotten spooked right away when it saw me. Just sitting in the middle of the trail. There. curious. There it goes. I thought for a moment it was gonna keep getting closer, but I guess not. Well, I made it almost to the shelter, Eagle's Nest shelter. Man, the last 3 miles of that hike went through a burn scar, and so a lot of the cover, was gone, and there's like no clouds today, right? It's a nice day out, but man, it was hot. And like, no place to rest along the way. No shade, hardly any shade. And lots of little flies buzzing around my face. But yeah, I made it. Getting pretty close to the shelter. I don't know if I'm actually going to stay in the shelter or just set up my tent nearby. But it's nice to be near a shelter because there's usually water and a privy near the shelters. And, it makes it worthwhile. So that means I'm going to have a shorter day tomorrow, which is nice. My shin is okay, not great. Feet are still doing all right. I'm going to be glad to get to the shelter and get some water because I'm running a little low on water and I can feel it. I'm feeling a bit dehydrated, so I need to get some more water in me. But it's like when you get in a nice rhythm, you don't want to stop. So, anyways. I will try and show you what the shelter looks like when I get there. But for now, here's what the trail looks like. All right, so here's the Eagle's Nest shelter. Somehow I'm the first one here. I'm shocked. I thought there were other people ahead of me. Got a fire ring over here. Past the water source on the way. And then it says it's room for 8 in here. I suppose you could probably fit 8. And then partial overhang here over the table. Is supposed to be relatively close. I'm sure I'll find it. Yeah, so this isn't too bad. If there's anything interesting around the back. Nah. Alright. So, there it is. Alright. It's a little bit after 7 and, things are starting to wind down at the shelter. There's a total of, I guess, 7 of us here. Tutu, who's I've been with for the past couple days, and a couple other people I met on the trail, Sam I Am and Whataburger. The guy who caught the mouse in the mousetrap last night is here as well, and then a couple other northbounders who are putting in big miles every day. Froggy and Ragnar. So we're stopping here for the night. So it's nice. It's been some nice conversation going on. So the plan for tomorrow is a relatively easy day. there's no, I mean, it's not easy, but compared to today, the 15 miles was kind of tough. Just 9 miles tomorrow, and get into Port Clinton. And then I think I'm going to, well, I've got to get some food, just like maybe even just town food, because I planned my food very well, in a sense, in that I'm going to be going into town tomorrow with maybe just a couple snacks. And so I have to get I have to get into town tomorrow because I don't have anything to eat for dinner tomorrow. But that's, you sort of want that, right? You want to be out of food when you get into town. So in a sense, I'm planning that very well. I think I'm gonna stay tomorrow night. There's some sort of pavilion in town. Just gonna stay there for that night, and I'm gonna meet up with my friend. You'll meet him in the next, I guess, 2 days from now, and he's bringing me some stuff. He's gonna help me out with a resupply, and we're gonna go out to eat, and then and he'll have to take off and get back to work. And then I'm gonna try and snag a hotel room for that night. And if that doesn't work, then I'll do the pavilion again. But I hope I can get into a hotel room for that night. And then start hiking north again. So hopefully these next 2 days are going to be restful days. 9 miles is not really a Nero, but for me, it's going to be pretty much like a Nero. And then the 0 on the next day. So that's sort of the plan over the next few days. All right. Big shout out and thanks to Jason Q, Mr. Quintero. Very generous donation, and I truly appreciate it. Gosh, Jason, I've known you since 1995. One of my brothers in Alpha Eta chapter of Kappa Kappa Psi, and an excellent brother, and now, from what I hear, a member of the community. Thank you for taking away from your concert nights to donate to me. So the man posts lots of videos from the concerts he gets to go to, and so I'm assuming he's not getting to go to one concert because he donated some money to me. Well, if that's the case, I certainly appreciate it either way. Thank you. All right, well, as always, if you stuck through to the end, I appreciate it, and I will see you again tomorrow on the trail.